Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today, we have the Spyderco Sage 5 Lightweight. You guys are constantly asking me about this knife. Every live show, when's the Lightweight coming out? Like, I know, they don't talk to me. And when are you getting one? I don't know when they come out. Well, I got one today. If you look back my last video, which was, I posted it like 6 hours ago. I did a massive unboxing, and Nick Shabazz, very nice. I'm sure you guys know who he is. His channel is fairly popular. He sent me a bunch of knives, and he snuck this one in there. I was not expecting it, so very happy. Thank you, Nick, very much for loaning me this. I really appreciate it. I was about to buy one today so I could review it for you guys, but now I don't have to unless I really fall in love with it and I just want one. Then I'll go buy one. But as Nick said, this was provided to him by the manufacturer. It may be the best quality control one ever produced, and also he did a disassembly and serviced it and all that stuff. So it's already been torn apart and reserviced, by someone else. So keep that in mind. But yeah, pretty cool design from Spyderco. Pretty happy they did this. A bit surprised by a few things about it. First of all, the price, $122. That's not a ripoff or anything. I'm not like complaining, but I was hoping to be a little less expensive. I don't know. It's not that far off of the regular. I think the regular Sage 5 is like 150, so 150 something. So it's only like $30 less. And for that, you're getting the same liners, same dual bronze washers, same pocket clip, all that stuff. It's just got FRN handles. That's really the only difference. And it does save some weight. We will do some weights here in a minute, and you'll find out how much. But it saves some weight, but not as much as I was kind of expecting. And the price was a little bit more than I was expecting. But other than that, there are some things I do like about it, just as much, if not more, than the regular Sage 5. If you want to find out about that, at the end of this video, when I get to the conclusions, we'll talk a lot more about that. I'll bring out the regular Sage 5. I was going to call this a first impressions video because, like I said, I've only had it for a few hours, but I do have a lot of experience with the standard Sage 5, and as you'll find out at the end of this video, there's not a huge amount of differences. So I don't really feel the need to do a full review on it after this, because it is also going to be in a battle to the death with the Para 3 Lightweight, because obviously if you're a Spyderco fan and you want an FRN handle knife, you're going to be looking at that. So that's a comparison you're going to be thinking about. And if it wins, it will be up against La Champion, the Benchmade Bug Out. This is probably my favorite knife in that category, and it won against the Para 3 Lightweight, and it is S30V also, so it's probably even a more valid comparison than the Para 3 Lightweight is. So let's get going and do some specs and size comparisons before we get too much further. I might just do that video anyway. I might just do both battles to the death, and we will see. So let's get going. We have an overall length of 7.14 inches, a blade length of 3 inches, blade thickness of 0.12 inches, handle thickness of 0.41 inches, and a weight of 2.8 ounces. They say 2.7. I weighted at 2.8. We're going to weigh it again here in a minute, and we'll see if my scale was just weird. That's within the margin of error. I'm not too upset about it. Size comparisons. Let's start off with the usual Spyderco sandwich, the aforementioned Para 3 Lightweight, and the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. You can see it's pretty close in size to the Para 3. And you know what? Since I brought them up and I have them both here, we're going to do a little Benchmade sandwich. So we have the Benchmade Bug Out. Bug Out's just a little bit longer, but a slimmer knife. And the Benchmade 940. So yeah, it's a little shorter than the Bug Out, way shorter than the 940, but a little bit shorter than the Bug Out. Not a ton. Okay, let's talk more about this knife specifically. The blade, very, very similar to the Sage 5, the regular Sage 5. I think they're identical, but sometimes I look at them and I think it looks a little bit different. You guys look, doesn't this look a little bit shorter in that dimension to me? But then sometimes I turn them and it doesn't. I don't know. It's extremely, extremely similar to the regular Sage 5, if it's not identical. Thickness behind the edge, the usual, about 18.5, 19 thousandths, just like you'd expect from a Spyderco leaf blade like this. A full flat grind, thin blade stock, slices extremely well. I have been doing a fair amount of cutting with it today in preparation for this, and it's performed just as well as the regular Sage 5. I carry this regular Sage 5 a whole lot, so unsurprising there. Ergonomics, really good. Got a little bit more contour here on the FRN. It's I really like that Spyderco does that. It's the bidirectional pattern they put on the Taiwan stuff works really well. Forward finger choke up that's the way it's intended to be used, and if you do, you get all 4 fingers on it. Even if I choke back, I can still get all 4 fingers on it, but honestly, I never use it like that. I never use my regular Sage 5 like that. Wouldn't use this one like that. I'm always carrying it like this when I'm cutting stuff, or holding it like this when I'm cutting stuff. And some of the Taiwan ones you get are a little bit sharp around the spidey hole. This one isn't that bad. I do have to say it's pretty decent. Don't really have a problem with it. Works fine. As far as the carry goes, I'm going to bring out a Yield Dickies, and remember, we're not making jokes about that. These are Dickies work pants, so they are a bit thicker than the usual jeans that I wear. I've been wearing, I think today, what do I have on? I don't even remember, Calvin Klein's or something like that. And it slides in and out of those super easy. Have not tried it on this yet. They are smart enough to put where the pocket clip lands is on a logo rather than being on the bidirectional pattern. That's really smart. Makes it slide in and out easy. I'm not expecting this to be a problem at all, and it is not. Very good. You're getting your hand past it. It doesn't carry terribly tiny for being a lightweight. I think like the bug out probably definitely carries a little better. It's not bad, but it is a bit tall in the pocket. Not bad, but you do notice it a little bit. You can see takes up a little bit of room in the pocket, but not too bad. So carry is fine. I wouldn't call it like amazing for a little lightweight knife, but it's fine. As far as the deployment goes, really good. Like I said, this was next. He did a disassembly and cleaned it up and oiled it and all that stuff. So it has been tuned a little bit, but totally drop shut. And in his video before he disassembled it, it was still pretty much like this. So yeah, really, really good. The Taichung Spyderco plant's gotten infinitely better lately with that. You can spidey flick it, all that stuff. Yeah, excellent. The deployment on it is just really, really good. I don't know what else to say. And like I said, it does have 2 bronze washers, whereas the Pair 3 only has 1, and the other side just runs on plastic like a Delica. But yeah, not too bad. And that's kind of my conclusion is not too bad. It does feel like a very well made knife with FRN scales. And again, we're going to compare it to the Sage 5. The disappointing thing about it is the regular Sage 5 with the Peel Ply Carbon G10 is only what $30 more. I think this is nicer. This is a nicer thing to look at. It feels a bit more solid. Not that this doesn't feel solid. It feels more solid than a lot of knives in this kind of category because it has full steel liners. But one advantage it does have, I will say, over the regular Sage 5 is I'm going to say it's actually, yeah, it's a bit more comfortable in the hand. Just because the way that they round off the FRN so well, they don't bother to do that. So these scales are a bit more blocky. They're both really comfortable in the hand, but this is just a bit better with the scales all rounded off like that. Yeah, I do like the way it feels. If I don't look at it, I like the way this feels in my hand better than the Sage 5. But if I look at it, I like the Sage 5 better, and I'd spend the extra $30. But that's just my first impression, because the weight difference is not gigantic either. Let's bring out the scales here. I believe it's only about ½ ounce. Come on. So yeah, just to refresh, yeah, 2.85 ounces on the lightweight versus 3.09 quarter ounce. Yeah, it's a little bit more than a quarter ounce. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that lightweight. I will say this is going to be, the lightweight is going to be grippier, if that's something you care about. Then yeah, go with the lightweight, and the ergonomics are slightly better. But yeah, the price difference just isn't there. I was really expecting it to be less expensive. I wish they'd have gone with, like, you know, the BD1 steel and the half liners or whatever, like they did on the Pair 3, and made it a little bit less expensive. It's a very nice knife. I'm not sure on first impressions, and I think I'll probably feel the same way after the battles to the death. I don't think I'd pick it over the regular one. I just love the regular one a whole lot. It is a bit thinner, I think, maybe. Let's check that, because that's one thing I did not check before we did this, and since we're in a little bit of comparison mode here. 0.436 and 0.410. So it's a hair thinner. It's a hair thinner. It's a little bit lighter. I think the ergos are slightly better, but this is one that I think I'd probably recommend the regular. And that's kind of not a huge surprise, because I also had a Chaparral lightweight and I sold it, and then I bought the regular Chaparral for the same kind of reasons. It wasn't a dramatic weight difference, and I love the blade, but I just liked the, you know, apply carbon and stuff, and the feel of it better. It felt like a more solid knife. So I think I'm kind of in the same camp on that. Great knife. Glad they make it. Glad that they're all in on these lightweight things. Can't wait to see a PM2 lightweight. I'm sure there's going to be one. But yeah, I think I'd spend the extra $30 and go with the regular one. That's just me, though. If you're really worried about that extra $30, you're not going to be disappointed with it. It's a very good knife, but I'd probably go with the regular one. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.